My friends, welcome to Real Truth. I saw this picture on Facebook and I had to share it with you. In Collinsville, Illinois, someone found a Vote for Bernie Sanders sign and tore it in half. By the missing half, they left a note. It says, "I took half of your sign because you had one and I didn't. I'm sure you understand." And I'm sure you do. My name is Howard Riell and this is Real Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com and on Facebook and YouTube and Tumblr and in the book Real Truth, Stay Angry. And of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM. The line and the call-in number remains 877-254-7524. My friends, there are bad deeds afoot, bad people trying to do bad deeds. They're trying to steal our democracy from us, trying to steal our votes. They are angling to get to the Republican convention where they can steal the nomination from Donald Trump. Don't believe me? Item from Doug Weed, that's WEAD.wordpress.com. Headline, how the establishment will now try to steal the nomination from Donald Trump. I quote, "Warning to the trumpets, it ain't over, it's just beginning." Below is a list of tactics that establishment Republicans may use to block the nomination of Donald Trump. Yes, I know. If they succeed, they will not win the White House, but many in the establishment will make just as much money under a Democrat insider as they will with a Republican insider, so they may not care. All they want to do is send a message to any future outsider candidate that this is our party and you need our approval to participate. If you try to do this without us, we will destroy you. These tactics were used in 2012 to keep libertarian insurgents from winning delegates to the Republican National Convention. The fear was that Ron Paul would be able to place his name in nomination and give a speech about capital cronyism and how big corporations use the system to corrupt free enterprise. Donald Trump can learn from our experience. What was at stake in 2012? Money. What's at stake now? Money. But why will low-level party stalwarts who don't get that money play along and do the bidding of the big party leaders to keep their positions as state, county, or precinct chairman? Power, ego, prestige. They want that all-expenses-paid trip to the Republican National Convention. Booze, free corporate gifts, a box of Godiva chocolates left on their pillow in their room each night. They know that candidates like Trump come and go, but the party infrastructure financed by companies and their lobbyists remain forever. Here's what the new Trump supporters can expect. Carefully follow the links to the stories below, and my friends, you're going to go to this website and follow the links to see actual videos and read details of how these things happened in 2012. Number one, Cruz, Rubio, Kasich, and Romney will cooperate with each other to help block Trump outsiders at key county and state conventions. There's nothing wrong with this. Just don't be taken by surprise. You may have most of the delegates at the local event and still lose to this combination. Make your own deals with chairman and other party officials before it's too late. Number two, the RNC Rules Committee will likely change the rules back to a 5-state requirement needed to put a name in nomination at the convention. This will make it easier to nominate Rubio, Cruz, Kasich, and even Romney. Trump operatives should block this change and keep it at 8. Which was originally designed to protect Romney, the expected incumbent. Number three, make sure you have your own people chosen as delegates to the convention. The insiders will fight you to the death over this, saying it doesn't matter, that you won the primary or the caucus, and so the actual delegates are bound by law to vote for you anyway. Not true. They will say that the governor and the senator and the old former chairman, who's been to every RNC since Eisenhower, should be able to represent their state. Be courteous and reasonable, but you also need large numbers of your own reliable Trump supporters chosen as delegates. Keep in mind, the only rules that bind the delegates are the rules of the party, and those very delegates can change those rules. What if there is a media-hyped Trump scandal and the party votes to unbind the delegates on the first ballot? Then they can vote for whomever they wish. What if Trump does not win on the first ballot and there is a second ballot? They will then vote their real choice and you will have lost all those states you thought you'd won in primaries. Number 4, the place of the caucus that selects the actual delegates who go to the district or state convention may suddenly change without your knowledge. Linked by a telephone chain, the insiders will meet without you. Your folks will show up at one hotel, the meeting will take place at another. Number 5, the time of the meeting may suddenly change. Your people can show up and find the building is locked and authorities say you're too late to be allowed to participate. 6, the chairman may well say, ayes have it, even if they don't. This happens at the precinct, county, district, state, and even the national level. 7, off-duty police may arrest and detain your newly elected Donald Trump GOP officers. Yep, that happened to us. Your people may be kept for hours in jail cells, and those who protest can be arrested as well. Number 8, precinct, country, county, state leaders may charge a last-minute tax. This happened in 2012 in Alaska. Number 9, if the caucus chairman is replaced or does not like the outcome of the vote, they may suddenly declare the process invalid. For example, they may say the new chairman is a Trump partisan and thus it's now a Trump event and the GOP insurance for the event is invalid and thus the meeting is ended. Number 10, state conventions will prepare ballots misspelling Trump and then later discount them in the voting for those pledged delegates. 11, fake ballots will be distributed listing establishment names as the official Trump delegates, confusing the voters. 12, counting the ballots at the various conventions will be an exhausting business with delays, postponements until the next day, seals broken on the voting boxes, and all kinds of chicanery. 13, they may cancel the voting due to weather in a key precinct that's heavily Trump. 14, at a convention you may find hotel rooms canceled. 15, when you leave the RNC, don't think it's over. A Ron Paul delegate was detained by TSA at the airport leaving Tampa when bullets were found in their packed luggage. Here's the message. It doesn't belong to you. As in the case of the Democratic Party, it belongs to the insiders, the rich and powerful, who make money from a rigged economy that favors the few at the expense of the many. Donald Trump is too independent and too unpredictable for them. You have been warned. Unquote. My friends, in other words, our very freedom, our liberty, our democracy, all at risk, not from some foreign enemy, but from the political class, the establishment, the people who are backing and supporting Cruz, Rubio, Kasich, Romney, all those people. They are the enemy. Which is why we got to put as much muscle, as much oomph behind the Trump candidacy as we possibly can. Then we got to stay on top of the process to make sure there are no shenanigans. It's Tuesday. It's Real Truth. I'll be here for the next, 45 minutes or so. I'll be right back.
We all know that our government is out of control. What are the point the people in it? How can we, the people, bring it back to the people's servants, not the people's masters? Liberty Forum and the Freedom Rider says officials in government must be made accountable for their actions. AccountabilityRevolution.com is the place to go to learn how you can actually make that happen. Become their judges, not their slaves. AccountabilityRevolution.com. Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies reminds everyone the chance of involvement in an auto accident rises dramatically with the consumption of alcohol or use of drugs. Please think before you drive. Don't let drugs or alcohol ruin your life or take the lives of others. You are responsible for your own safety as well as the safety of those around you. This message from Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies. For information on their services, call 970-484-7981.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets have gone into the world. By this you will know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that does not confess that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, already heard was coming, and is now already in the world. 1 John 4:1.
Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seen.
Okay, get ready. We're about to floor it. Guys, welcome back to Real Truth. Howard Riell. You know, there are many things about the Democrat Party, and especially its candidates, that turn my stomach, as I'm sure it does yours. One of the worst of them is when you watch the Democrat talking heads, or you watch the debates going on, or you watch the candidates. Basically, they're asked, what are you going to do for black voters? What are you going to do for Hispanic voters? Well, my friends, that's pretty insulting to blacks and Hispanics. You know, you put yourself in the conversation, and you think, what would I say if I were asked that question? And my answer would be, I'm not going to do anything for black voters or Hispanic voters, but I'll do everything in my power for Americans. The Democrats practice the politics of division. Here's what we've got for blacks. Here's what we've got for Latinos. Here's what we've got for... And that just continues to fragment the United States of America. And people, look, everybody wants a strong, safe, prosperous United States of America. Everybody wants the same things. They want opportunity. They want opportunity in education for their kids. They want affordable health care. Everybody wants the same thing. That's why I respect Donald Trump for saying that. He's not playing the politics of division. He's talking about Americans and what's good for America. Here is Reverend Pastor Manning, the Manning Report. You'll find this on my Facebook page, Real Truth Radio. Pastor Manning is black. His guest, the young woman, is also black. But you know what? They're not talking about black Americans versus white Americans. They're talking about Donald Trump and what's good for all Americans. And that's why I respect him so much. Let's give a listen right now.
You know, Sabbath, I said earlier that Joe Scarborough and the media, they are going after Trump to try to destroy him.
Yeah, they are.
And the thing that I want to inform the media of, Donald Trump has become the hero of black or African American people. We call that race of people, or this race of people, if you will, Hamite people. I want you to understand something, America and the world, that Donald Trump is indeed a hero. Unexpectedly, Donald Trump has risen and he has captured the imagination of the black people. He has. Yeah. And they're just so excited about him. When I talk to black people who are normally Democrats and normally Obama supporters, you can see them blinking their eyes when you compare Donald Trump to Obama. People, young black men, black women, and when you mention to put those two together, Obama and Trump, their eyes light up when you talk about Donald Trump.
Yes.
For whatever reason, the Sabbath is like a miracle.
No, it is. And to take the words that Obama used during his presidential campaign,
right.
People are ready for change.
Yeah.
They don't want Obama anymore. He has failed them. They see him out to be who he really is, and they just want something different now.
Well, Sabbath, can I ask you this? Do you think that Obama's alleged first black presidency, and many thought that he would heal the race problem.
Yeah, they did.
But now Trump has come, and black people don't see Trump as a white man.
No, they're not looking at color.
They don't see him as a Democrat. They don't see him as a Republican. They see him as a man.
Right.
So is Trump the catalyst to bring about racial healing in America? You were down there with me. I'm so glad you went with me down to the Trump Tower the other day.
Yeah.
When you were sitting there with all those black preachers, black women and men sitting there all together, they don't look at him as a white man.
Yeah.
They didn't see that. So ironically, miraculously, Trump has become the hero of black people.
Yeah, and I think to some extent, the reason why that is because people have realized that looking at this color issue is not getting black people anywhere. They realize that, and so now to start to begin to look at the character of someone, is what they're doing in Trump. And I might add, Pastor, that as I watched the news yesterday, I watched and I listened to how they tried to slam Trump all over the place.
Right.
As I forget who it was that spoke in the White House in regards to White House, but I said to myself, here is the White House making a statement saying that the statements that Donald Trump made, Josh Earnest, saying that Trump is disqualified as the president of the United States for making that statement, but yet you're standing in the house where an illegal immigrant, where a Muslim is residing over America, but you're saying Trump's statements disqualify him, but yet the man that you serve, do you see the hypocrisy?
It's absolutely incredible.
I wanted to jump through the television set. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I remember my Uncle Luke.
It's ridiculous.
But the other thing is that, Sabbath, is Trump is saying to the government the things that black people are feeling now that they have been let down by Obama. I don't think if Trump had ran and said the exact same thing 12 years ago, he would not have resonated with.
They wouldn't have been able to receive it then.
But because Obama is such a big disappointment, I tell you, everywhere I look, black people are falling down over themselves over Donald Trump. You got black women like those two sisters telling people to leave Trump the hell alone. They didn't say that about
Donald. Rightfully so.
And they ticked off too.
That's right.
But this is a phenomenon that's just exploding all over everywhere. And you heard Richmond just chimed in a moment ago from down there and giving her assent and support to Trump as well. This is history making.
Yeah, praise God.
Trump has now become the hero of African American, of black people, and he's not trying to be. He's just being
himself.
Donald Trump.
That's right.
This is absolutely incredible. And I really thank God that you and I are reporting and living through this era. This will be a major historical event if Jesus doesn't come back anytime soon to see what is transforming here in America. And Sabbath, I will go you one further. That's the reason why the Republicans are trying to destroy him. They got their ears to the ground, and the media is trying to destroy him.
Right.
They know that he has become the hero for black people and for poor working class people and for wealthy people, that he has brought all peoples together.
My friends, let me interrupt. How can a white guy like Donald Trump be the hero of black people? Well, the answer is obvious. Donald Trump is trying to help America. Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter what your ethnicity or your race is. What matters is you want a strong, vibrant, healthy America. You want American citizens to lead great lives, like we used to. There's no color line here. There's no need to shoot for demographics. This will play well with black America. This will play well with Scandinavian Americans. This will be for the poor. This will be for the... Donald Trump is talking to every American. And after all, I was just a kid when the civil rights movement began in the 60s. But I seem to remember something about equality, all people being equal, a colorblind America. Well, that's what we want. That's what everybody wants. You get as far in life as your talents and abilities and drives will take you, regardless of race, creed, nationality, ethnicity. That's the American ideal. That's what this country is all about. That's what Donald Trump is doing, and that's why he appeals to every demographic and every race, anybody who doesn't want a lying pig like Hillary Clinton or a wingnut like Bernie Sanders to be president. Let's finish with Pastor Manning.
He has unified without holding office.
Yeah.
He has unified just by getting up and running a campaign. Anytime you can bring black people and wealthy people together and under the same kind of zeal.
Yeah, you have to be quite unique.
The man is
Yeah.
a unifier.
Yeah.
And this is just a very, very exciting time. And he's not trying, he's just being
No.
Donald Trump.
But Pastor, I remember at the meeting, he was stating how that if we just unite, so within him in his heart, that's exactly who he is, because he kept saying if we would just unite together.
Well, you know, what you're referring to is that he was saying the church needs a voice.
Yes, yes.
He told Dr. Scott and a couple of the others, Dr. Scott in particular, he was there, he said the church, the Christians need to unite.
Yeah.
Y'all need to unite.
That's
All
right.
this denomination stuff needs to go out the window, and you need to unite. And if you do, you'll have the strongest
That's what he
lobby
said.
in America.
That's exactly what he said.
And he said, if I get the office, you'll have a friend in the White
That's
House.
what he
That
said.
Christians will have a friend in the White
Yes.
House. And so this man is incredible. You know, we want to talk to him also about this Jewish state that the Muslims should not be given 1 inch of ground in Israel. We need to talk to him, and I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to sit down with him, and I'm going to talk to him, or sit down at least with his assistant, and say that that not 1 inch of ground should be given to the Muslim people. I'm going to sit down with Michael Cohen and say that. But this is a phenomenon I never thought I would see.
Yeah, very
and people of
interesting.
all their lives thought you got to be a black person
Yeah.
to unite black people. But Trump has a 1 million man march behind him that cannot be defeated.
All right, now, my friends, now look at someone like Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton or Louis Farrakhan, guys who are race baiters, race hustlers, people who try to divide and conquer on racial lines. They are infections in the body politic of America. They're poison. Donald Trump comes along and speaks good old common sense and brings everybody together under the tent of wanting to make America great again, just like his slogan says. I don't see why anybody would choose anything besides that. Item from Prison Planet. According to Apple Insider, technology leaders, including Apple CEO Tim Cook and government insiders, met over the weekend at the American Enterprise Institute's annual World Forum held at Sea Island, Georgia, to plot the downfall of popular Republican presidential candidate and frontrunner Donald Trump. In addition to Cook, Google co-founder Larry Page, Tesla and SpaceX chief Elon Musk, and Napster creator Sean Parker were in attendance at the secretive confab, along with government insiders, including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, House Speaker Paul Ryan, and a number of Republican senators. Republican strategist and former dirty trickster Karl Rove was also reportedly in attendance. Influential members of the private sector were present as well, including billionaire Philip Anschutz and the New York Times publisher Arthur Sulzberger. Paraphrasing Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto, leading neocon and Weekly Standard editor-in-chief Bill Kristol emailed from the meeting that, quote, a specter was haunting the World Forum, the specter of Donald Trump. There was much unhappiness about his emergence, a good deal of talk, some of it insightful and thoughtful, about why he's done so well, and many expressions of hope that he would be defeated, Kristol wrote. In December, Kristol said if Trump becomes a nominee, neocons and Republicans opposed to him will form a third party. If the operatives I talked with are right, Trump running as a Republican could well face a third party run from the Republicans themselves, wrote Jeff Greenfield. Republican leaders have discussed the possibility of changing RNC rules to unbind delegates at the convention before the first round of balloting in order to undermine Trump. Stop! Let me talk to my fellow Republican voters. The Republican Party doesn't want you to pick the president. The Republican Party wants to do it themselves because they are the powerful, the elite, the connected, the networking. And to do so, they're going to change the rules in midstream to make sure that you and I don't get to choose the next president. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to call your RNC chairman in your city. Or call the RNC headquarters in Washington, D.C. and say to him, listen, schmuck, if you try and rob the nomination from Donald Trump, I will never vote for a Republican again, And if that means a calamitous Hillary Clinton presidency, then so be it. But we will not stand by in the United States of America and watch the party apparatchiks steal our choices, steal our freedom, and steal our democracy. That will not happen. We'll be back.
We all know that our government is out of control. What are the point the people in it? How can we, the people, bring it back to the people's servants, not the people's masters? Liberty Forum and the Freedom Rider says officials in government must be made accountable for their actions. AccountabilityRevolution.com is the place to go to learn how you can actually make that happen. Become their judges, not their slaves. AccountabilityRevolution.com. Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies reminds everyone the chance of involvement in an auto accident rises dramatically with the consumption of alcohol or use of drugs. Please think before you drive. Don't let drugs or alcohol ruin your life or take the lives of others. You are responsible for your own safety as well as the safety of those around you. This message from Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies. For information on their services, call 970-484-7981. Great Plains Power has been providing reliable electrical power systems in the Rocky Mountain area since 1992. Our systems rely on the sun to help make you self-reliant for your power needs. Solar energy can be scaled to fit any situation, from complete power independence to backup power for the short term. Our expertise focuses on standalone power, but we have extensive experience with utility interactive systems as well. Custom-tailored capabilities of modest emergency lighting all the way to commercial-scale power. Great Plains Power is a full-service company. We service everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey packages, custom design system, and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to GreatPlainsSolar.com. No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debt, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Article 1, Section 10. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness of him and cried out, saying, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14 and 15.
All right, guys, you remember Piers Morgan, right? Piers Morgan was a liberal horse's ass who was on TV here a few years ago. Americans disliked him so much, he was basically forced off the air. Well, he landed on his feet over in England. He's got a TV show. He invited Ann Coulter on to talk about banning Muslims from coming to the United States. The exchange is a good one. Piers Morgan has only a fraction of the IQ points that Ann Coulter has. Let's give a listen.
You're not seriously blaming all Muslims for what happened on September the 11th?
No, but I don't need to. Why do we need them? I mean, look at the San Bernardino shooters.
Wait a minute. Ann Coulter. Let me just stop you there. It's Piers here. We have clashed before. People may be unsurprised to hear. When you say, why do we need them?
Right.
Are you talking about all Muslim people? There are 1.6 billion Muslims in the world. When you say, why do we need them, what do you mean?
No. I mean, why does our country need them? The point is, America is not a battered woman's shelter. Immigration policy, as I describe in the book, it ought to be designed to make the lives of Americans better, including immigrants to America. That isn't how our immigration policy has been run.
Look, Muslims represent...
So even before before they start shooting. What was the point of Syed Farouk's parents? His father was a truck driver. What, there are no Americans who will drive a truck? So Syed's mother said that the father was, mentally ill. He was drunk. He beat the mother. We have our own problems. We have our own poor people. We have our own criminals. Yeah.
Now you have to understand what's happening here. The dynamics are interesting. Ann Coulter's making perfect sense. She's saying a country has a right to decide who will and will not enter its borders. And any country, not just America, any country should pick and choose those foreigners who will add to America, improve America, and that we're under no obligation to bring in people who are known to be headaches, people with mental problems, people with alcohol problems, people who are connected to Islamic jihad organizations. We're under no obligation to let them in the door. Piers Morgan and the chick sitting next to him over in England, they're trying to play the same kind of sneaky game that liberals always play. Ann Coulter is talking about screening Muslims who come into this country. Because after all, when you have jihad terror, it's Muslims doing it. They're doing the sneaky trick saying, Ann, are you saying all? Are you blaming all Muslims? They know she's not. But this is their canard. This is how they're trying to paint her as a racist. Are you saying all Muslims are responsible for 9/11? And the answer is no. But when it comes to terror, when it comes to jihad, when it comes to beheadings and throwing gays off of roofs and burning people alive and stabbing people on the streets of Israel, yeah, that's all Muslims. And yes, not all Muslims are terrorists, but all terrorists are Muslims. And what she's saying, what Anna's saying is, why invite that potential danger into the United States of America? If we don't know which Muslims will decide one day to commit an act of terror, then how can we afford to have any Muslims coming into the country? Of course, it makes perfect sense, which is why the liberal Piers Morgan is about to crawl out of his skin. Let's go back to it.
Let me jump in. Right, the two worst mass shootings in modern American history were at Sandy Hook, the school where 20 children and 6 adults were killed, and at Aurora in Colorado, where a guy shot 70 people as they watched a movie. In both cases, the shooters were white Christian Americans. I don't remember you or Donald Trump or any Republican jumping up saying, hey, this is terrible, we now have to ban all white Christians from the United States.
My friends, this is the level of intellectualism or lack of it that you get from liberals. He's equating two people who happen to go bananas and start shooting with 1.6 billion Muslims who read the exact same Quran, which tells them to wage unceasing war against humanity forever. That's liberal logic. That's the liberal defect. Let's go back to Ann Coulter.
Why, just because it's two Muslims who commit a mass shooting in a year when there have been more mass shootings than there are days in the year in America, why suddenly do all Muslims have to be banned when in fact the number of mass shootings and the number of crimes they commit in America are minuscule compared to every other part of this society?
Well, two things. First of all, your facts are wrong. The biggest mass shooting in America was by an immigrant at Virginia Tech a few years ago. That guy Cho. The point is, we can't. I'd love to deport Americans who are mentally ill or might commit crimes or do commit crimes. We can't deport Americans who are criminals. Again, we have our own criminals we have to take care of. Why would we bring criminals in? Why would we bring the mentally ill in? So when I say why do we need them, I'm saying why does our country need them? It's one thing if we're bringing in, Muslim, nuclear scientists or nuclear cell biologists. That's not what we're getting. The refugees, for example, 90% of them are on welfare, more than our Native Americans. No, welfare is for our own poor people.
Let me jump in. Okay, so how far do you take this? You want to ban all Muslims from other countries coming in, one, but do you now want to get rid of the 3 to 4 million Muslim United States citizens currently living in the country? Why should they be, by your rationale, any safer than the ones you're trying to ban from coming in from overseas countries?
Well, here's my answer. They're not any safer. Any Muslim could at any moment decide, you know what? That passage I read in the Quran yesterday makes a lot of sense. I should start killing people because that's what Allah wants. Piers Morgan is right. Every single Muslim is a potential terrorist. Now let's see what Ann Coulter says.
Well, there might be something we can do about that. I mean, one thing that I think was suggested by
would you deport every Muslim currently living as a United States citizen, of which there are 3 to 4 million? Would you literally deport them? You're hesitating.
No, the point is... No, the reason I'm hesitating is...
You actually are seriously contemplating deporting 3 to 4
No, I'm not
million
seriously
Muslims?
contemplating. We have a delay. I'm trying to decide which angle to take on this. Look, the point is, one of the mass shooters at San Bernardino, just last week, was technically a United States citizen. Now, he flew and he went to Yemen and found himself his fiancée he was coming back with. There are laws that could have prevented him from bringing that fiancée back. There are laws that could have prevented not only Muslims, but any U.S. citizen, including the white Christians.
Please answer this question.
They say this is another tactic of liberals. They'll throw out a question, which usually is stupid, and then when you attempt to answer it, they'll talk over you. Because they don't want to hear your answer. They're not thinkers. They're not into learning anything. They just want to assault you with words. That's what Piers Morgan did. That's why Piers Morgan had to go bye-bye. That's why no one was watching his TV show, because people are hip to that kind of nonsense, and they're sick of it, just like I am. So I'm going to end this video. Thank you, Ann Coulter. Let's go back to news, because we're about to hit a commercial, if I'm any judge of commercials. Item from the end of the American dream. Civil wars erupted in the Republican Party, and the Republican establishment is in full-blown panic mode. Donald Trump was never supposed to get this far, and now party insiders are scrambling to come up with a plan to block him from securing the nomination before the convention. After winning 7 states on Super Tuesday, you'd think the Republican Party would be rallying around Trump and preparing for a tough general election battle with Hillary Clinton. Instead, the goal is now to stop Trump at all costs. We'll take a commercial break. No one's stopping me at all costs. I'll be right back.
Howdy, folks. Have you ever thought about it?
Alright, guys, I'm all done. Show's all done. After you finish watching this video, please share it. I will be back on the air tomorrow. Call the RNC in your city. Call the national RNC in Washington. Tell them that if they screw with Trump's nomination, that the RNC will feel your wrath and quite possibly cease to exist. I'll see you tomorrow.